get nightmares. Because every day my teacher conducts a surprise test. Nah. On waking, we feel our heart pounding and can usually recollect the nightmare. Nightmares usually occur during the REM stage of sleep. Even though they are more common in children, many adults also experience them. There could be multiple reasons behind nightmares. Having late-night snacks increases our metabolism, triggering more brainwaves and causing nightmares. Certain medications like blood pressure medications, antidepressants, etc. can also cause nightmares. Also, if we are sleep deprived or have certain sleep disorders, this can also lead to nightmares. Stress and anxiety can also lead to adult nightmares. People who have experienced a huge trauma or are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder can also suffer from nightmares. Thus, eating healthy, sleeping on a schedule, and staying stress-free can help us stay away from nightmares. Why do some people stutter? Wait, let me ask my dentist. Forget it. Stuttering or stammering is a speech disorder in which an individual may repeat words, parts of words, syllables, phrases, etc., or even stretch certain sounds within a word. Why do you think this happens? In our brain, Wernicke's area and Broca's area control our speech and language. Wernicke's area helps in choosing the correct words to express our thoughts, whereas Broca's area is believed to be involved in producing movements in vocal folds, tongue, etc., allowing us to speak those words. Now, stuttering can occur if a brain injury or stroke either damages the Broca's area or reduces the blood flow to this region, thus not allowing it to produce movements properly. Also note that, during childhood, as the speech and language skills are still developing, children may suffer from stuttering and it will usually disappear with age.
Near the turn of this century, scientist Georg Steinhauser had a problem. He was fascinated by the question, why do some belly buttons collect more lint than others? But no one knew the answer. So for 3 years, he collected his own belly button lint to find out. And after interviewing friends and analyzing 503 of his own samples, Steinhauser discovered the culprit: stomach hair. It scratches off tiny t-shirt fibers and directs them towards the belly button. So that might be one mystery solved, but lint isn't the only thing inside these bizarre human crevices. Your belly button is a scar, your very first one. It forms when a doctor snips your umbilical cord, and depending on how it heals, you could have an outie, or more likely, an innie. And innies are ripe for colonization, not only by lint, hair, and dead skin cells, but also by bacteria. In one study, 60 volunteers swabbed their belly buttons. Researchers then analyzed the samples and found more than 2,300 kinds of bacteria. That's an average of 67 different kinds per belly button. Now, many of those microbes aren't unique to belly buttons, like Staphylococcus, which can lead to staph infections. It shows up in noses, throats, hair, and yes, even belly buttons. But the researchers also discovered other bacteria never before seen on human skin, like Marimonas, which scientists had previously only seen in the ocean. And they even found bacteria that chefs use to make cheese. And yes, somebody did exactly that. She grew the belly button bacteria in a petri dish and then added it to milk. Sure enough, after a few hours, the milk curdled into cheese. Belly button brie, anyone? Now, for the most part, the microbes in your navel are harmless. In fact, recent studies suggest that bacteria on your body may strengthen your skin's defense system. But if you never clean your belly button, they'll grow unencumbered, and that can be a problem. The best case scenario is that your belly button will start to smell. When common naval microbes like Corynebacterium build up, they emit pungent odors, similar to body odor. But the worst case is that your navel will get infected, not just by staph, but also by microbes that cause strep throat and yeast infections. That's right, you can get a yeast infection in your belly button, which can lead to itching and redness, and cause a clear or off-white discharge to leak out, which almost looks like cottage cheese. So how does that cheese sound now? While microbes colonize your belly button from the outside, there could also be an invader from the inside. We're talking about belly button hernias. In the womb, the umbilical cord runs from your mom to you, passing through an opening in your abdominal muscles. Normally, that opening seals up after you're born, but in some cases, it never really closes all the way. This can allow internal organs to slip through, creating a bulge behind your belly button. Naval hernias affect as many as 1 in 5 newborns in the U.S., but they're rarely life-threatening and are far less common in adults. In fact, as long as you rinse your belly button with warm, soapy water once a week, the worst you'll have to put up with is a little fluff.
Smartphones make our eyes worse. No, they make food ordering fast and easy. Listen. Among all light sources, a smartphone is the only one at which we stare for prolonged periods and hold it too close to our eyes. Hence, it puts strain on our eyes. Besides this, smartphone screens predominantly emit blue light. Now, our eyes are built to absorb the harmful ultraviolet rays coming from the sun, thus protecting the inner sensitive membrane called retina. But since they are not good at absorbing blue light emitted by smartphones, it hits the retina and produces toxic substances which slowly begin to damage the retina. Hence, long-term exposure to blue light may affect our vision. However, to resolve this issue, many manufacturers have incorporated a new feature called night light. Night light causes the screens to give off warmer colors, thus reducing the negative effects of blue light. How can some people predict rain? By asking Thor, the thunder god. Now, there are 2 ways by which rain can be predicted. First case occurs just before the beginning of heavy rainfall. Here, lightning bolts split nitrogen and oxygen molecules, eventually producing ozone. Now, strong blowing winds carry ozone downward along with them. Ozone is a sharp-smelling gas. When a person smells this ozone, it helps him predict the rain. Now, the second case occurs when it is already raining somewhere nearby. Usually, surfaces of soil and leaves have aromatic particles of dust and oil on them. When raindrops hit these surfaces, tiny air bubbles containing these aromatic particles are created. Just like fizz rushes upwards in a soda bottle, these air bubbles rush upwards and burst out. Then, gusts of wind carry them ahead of the rain, helping us smell the aromatic particles and predict rain. Why do we sleepwalk? Because burger joints offer 80% discount at night. Nah. Sleepwalking or somnambulism is a disorder which causes people to walk around while they're asleep. Occasionally, they may even go to the bathroom or drive a car. But what exactly is going on over here? While sleeping, our brain goes through various stages of sleep. However, sometimes, when we are in deep, non-REM stage of sleep, our brain skips the active brain, REM stage, and directly goes to being awake. Hence, we enter a state where our brain is just awake enough to perform physical activities, but it is still asleep enough to not have any conscious awareness, causing us to be in a sort of mixed state of sleep and wakefulness, thus causing us to sleepwalk. It is observed that sleepwalking is more common in children. However, factors like stress, sleep deprivation, sedative drugs, sleep apnea, etc., may lead to sleepwalking in adults.